right, you should have already completed page 250. If you have not completed page 250, and I know there are some of you who have not, stop the video and complete the work. It doesn't do you any good to just do the work with me, because next year you're going to be lost when you get to 6th grade math. So make sure you are stopping the video, doing it on your own, and then coming back to check your work so you can figure out what you did wrong. All right, let's look at number 1. Number 1 says, Pete wants to make turkey sandwiches for 2 friends and himself. He wants each sandwich to contain 3.5 ounces of turkey. How many ounces of turkey does he need? So he is making sandwiches for 2 friends and himself. So how many people are there? There are 3 people. Okay, so he wants each sandwich to have 3.5 ounces of meat, and there are going to be 3 sandwiches. So you're going to take 3.5 and you're going to multiply that times 3. If you did not use those numbers, then go ahead and pause and redo it using these numbers. All right, so we're going to go over this problem. 3 times 5 is 15. Carry the 1. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1 is 10. There's 1 place past the decimal, so we make sure there's 1 place past the decimal here. So our answer is 10.5. All right, now going on to number 2. Gasoline costs $3.37 per gallon. Mary's father puts 9 gallons of gas in the tank. How much is this going to cost? So we take $3.37 and we multiply that times 9. 9 times 3 is 63. Carry the 6. 9 times 3 is 27, plus 6 is 33. Carry the 3. 9 times 3 is 27, plus 3 is 30. So we have 2 past the decimal. We need to make sure there's 2 past the decimal here. So we end up with $30.33 that this will cost Mary's dad. All right, so $30.33. Notice that I have the dollar sign so that we know that there are dollars. Okay, notice the dollar sign goes in front, not in back. We read it $30.33, but we do not put the dollar sign at the end. People make that mistake all the time. All right, those 2 were a review of what we've been doing on this lesson. Now we're going to do some spiral review. This will review things that you may have learned in 2nd grade, 3rd grade, 4th grade, or the beginning of 5th grade. So these are things you should know, and if you don't remember, you need to pay special attention to make sure that you understand what we're doing. So a group of 5 boys and 8 girls goes to the fair. Admission costs $9 per person. What expression can show the total amount the group will pay? So the first thing we have to ask ourselves is, what is an expression? And an expression is the problem. So what's the problem going to look like? And there are multiple answers to this particular problem. Okay, so I'm going to write down a few. If you have something that's different than that, message me and I'll let you know if yours is also correct. All right, so we have 5 boys and 8 girls going, and it costs $9 per person. So one of the possible expressions that we could have would be something like this: 5 plus 8 in parentheses times 9. We could also have 9 times 5 plus 8. All right, notice there's no equal sign. When you put an equal sign, it's an equation. An expression is the numbers without the equal sign. All right, when you get to 6th grade, you will no longer put this times sign there, All right, because it looks like an X, and when you get to middle school and high school, you start to solve for unknowns, and a lot of times they use the letter X as the unknown for algebra. So the other way that you start to write this is 9 with a multiplication sign right next to it. All right, so there's no multiplication sign there. When a number is next to a parentheses, it means you multiply. So all three of these say exactly the same thing. All right, so the 8 and the 5 could be put together. They could be switched around. You could also do, well, those are basically it. Okay. So double check your work. If you get something that's different, message me and I'll let you know if that's right. Number 4, Sue and 4 friends buy a box of 362 baseball cards at a yard sale. If they share the cards equally, how many cards will each person receive? This share the cards equally tells us that we are going to be dividing. And it's Sue and 4 friends, which means there's 5 people altogether. So I'm going to do number 4 over here because it's going to be a little bit long. So we're going to take 362 divided by 5 because they're going to share them equally. Each person is going to get the same amount of cards, okay? So 5.5 goes into 36 7 times. 7 times 5 is 35. 36 minus 35 is 1. Bring down the 2. 5 goes into 12 2 times. 2 times 5 is 10. And we subtract. Now we're dealing with cards, okay? And we're not going to cut cards in half. So we don't need to go any further than this because there's nothing left to bring down, which means we could add that decimal point that we've added with a 0 and bring down and get a fraction or a decimal. But we're not going to do that because we're talking about something we don't want to tear up. So this would be 72 with a remainder of 2 cards. So 72 cards is your answer. Each kid is getting 72 cards. You do not need to mention the remainder because the question asks you how many cards will each person receive. And every single person is going to receive 72 cards. All right, number 5. Sarah rides her bicycle 2.7 miles to school. She takes a different route home, which is 2.5 miles. How many miles does Sarah ride to and from school each day? All right, this is number 5. This is a simple addition problem. On the way to school, she travels 2.7 miles. And on the way home, she travels 2.5. And we want to know the total number of miles that she travels together. So when we add decimals, we keep the decimals lined up. So if you want to put your decimal point in right away, you can. 7 plus 5 is 12. Oops. Carry the 1. 2 plus 2 is 4 plus 1 is 5. So she travels 5.2 miles. Number 6. Tim has a box of 15 markers. He gives 3 markers each to 4 friends. What expression can show the number of markers that he has left? All right. Now, we've got to work backwards here. And you're going to have multiple answers. There's multiple possibilities for this, okay? So he started out with 5. He started out with 15. So that's the first number that we need because it's what he started out with. And then he gives away, which means he subtracts from his total, 3 markers to each of 4 friends. So it could be 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. It could be 15 minus 3 times 4. which is the simplest way to do it because there are 4 3s. All right. It could be 15 minus 12. All right. This is your best answer right there. That's how they're going to want it to look when you write out an algebra problem when you get to middle school and high school. So this is your best problem. The other ones are correct, but your best problem is that middle problem. All right. Okay, go ahead and move on to your personal math trainer in Think Central, and good luck on the assignment. Bye-bye.